So this is happening now in Minnesota. This is an ICE raid. You can see there are several people. They're in our neighborhoods. They have weapons drawn. It's during winter. And I want to show you guys what's going on. I knew ICE was carrying out whatever they're doing, but I didn't know it was to this extent. And what I mean by that is now we're arresting U.S. citizens, and they show up with like massive force. And I know that they're separating families, children, and adults. Governor Tim Walz, he says, federal agents are arresting American citizens. This isn't about public safety. It's about stoking fear. He also writes, multiple U.S. citizens have been arrested during ICE operations. The forcefulness, lack of communication, and unlawful practices displayed by federal agents will not be tolerated in Minnesota. This is more. ICE puts a U.S. citizen in a chokehold, forcing him to his knees in the snow. When he offers his ID, agents ignore him. And I think what's going on is racial profiling. Let me show you a little bit.
What's your name? 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 You can't do that. What is your name? 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 What's your name? What's your name?
No, let it go. It's like a U.S. citizen. No.
You guys back it up. Back it up.
No, don't touch me, man. Don't touch me.
Back it up. Back it up.
Don't fucking touch me.
This apparently is happening all over. This is another thing. Again, this is a neighborhood. There are protests. Basically, people are protecting their neighbors, and everyone has a whistle in Minnesota, Ireland, but the people there has a whistle now. So I guess what happens is when ICE shows up, people come to protest very, very quickly is what it appears, and then ICE leaves. So people can't show up and go everywhere. It's tough. Also, they were shouting lots of things. Many people were shouting, "Do not attack the agents! Do not attack the agents!" So far, it looks to be peaceful, which is a good thing. I mean, because it's going to escalate in a hurry. You can see how many of these ICE people, we've talked about this before, appear to be untrained. I mean, they're just so willing and to shoot. This is Trump's America. I just want to make sure this is clear. We also have this. This is a U.S. citizen. He talks about his situation being detained. I'll play some more of this. Have a watch.
I was even outside for mere seconds before I seen a masked person running at me full speed. He tackled me. I told him I'm a U.S. citizen. He didn't seem to care. He dragged me outside through the snow while I was handcuffed, restrained, helpless. And he pushed me to the ground, and he put me in a chokehold. And he said, "We're going to take you into Bishop Henry, all the way in Bloomington." I did my fingerprints, and they finally let me go. They said, "No, you have to walk in the snow." Eventually, my parents came and picked me up.
Our residents deserve better from the federal government.
Random efforts in which individuals who are being stopped because they appear to be Latino or because they appear to be Somali is wrong.
What happened to me was unjust, uncalled for.
We're demanding accountability, immediate changes on how these operations are being carried out.
That was been tweeted out by the city of Minneapolis, and essentially what this is, it's racial profiling, basically. You're seeing all kinds of this stuff happening all over the city. It's hard to go over this because there's so many individual incidents. Actually,
jump in the car and spray people in the eyes, and everybody was in the ground, and we have to put water in their eyes to wash the chemicals. And the chemicals were so strong, some of them are really laid down on the snow.
Community leaders tell us ICE detained a U.S. citizen, but he was later released after showing his passport. We reached out to ICE and to Minneapolis for more details on what happened.
A woman detained by ICE at a separate scene early Tuesday morning is now telling us what happened. So this is video from North 21st and Oliver Avenue in North Minneapolis, where you can see her there in handcuffs on the ground. Susan Tincher says she was there to observe ICE in the neighborhood and gather information when this happened.
I approached an officer and asked what they were doing and if they were ICE, and she yelled at me to get back, and I stood my ground. I just stood there on the sidewalk, and other officers came up, and I was thrown to the ground, tightly handcuffed.
And the way that they do this stuff also, they seem to be going with force first. I mean, seriously. So I understand why, and you can see that one person has a whistle. I can understand why local residents are upset. I completely understand, right? This is your neighbors that ICE is going after. Then Trump puts out these videos of they're just bragging about all these people that they're arresting. And we've seen multiple reports that very few of these people have any sort of criminal records. Yeah, and that's, so I know it's happening, right? Tends to be mostly black and brown people, as you can see. This is more. I just want to show you. It's multiple reports. I can't even go through all of them. I've been looking at some of this stuff. It is really a lot. But you do have to see this stuff, you know. And this would be what it is. It's a right-wing influencer to say, "Oh, all these lefties show up. Oh, they all show up." No, these guys are morons, to be frank. This is Ilhan Moar talking about being Somali.
Yes, of course, ethnically Somali. We are in this country as Americans.
Yeah.
We are citizens. We are productive part of this nation, and we will continue to be.
And I wanted to hear too more about the guy who was arrested. He'll describe a little bit of it.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mubashir, and I never expected to be standing in front of all these cameras and microphones. But what happened to me cannot stay quiet. What happened to me was unjust, uncalled for. I was simply on my lunch break. I literally went downstairs from my building. I wasn't even outside for mere seconds before I seen a masked person running at me full speed. He tackled me, pushed me inside the restaurant, like as you can see in the video. I told him I'm a U.S. citizen, what is going on? He didn't seem to care. He dragged me outside through the snow while I was handcuffed, restrained, helpless, and he pushed me to the ground, and he put me in a chokehold. That was very uncalled for. I thought I got really hurt. And after that, they put me inside the vehicle. And they asked me, we have to verify if you're a U.S. citizen, because I believe you're an illegal citizen because you ran from me. But as you can see in the videos that will be released, I'm simply just standing still. I asked them, okay, they said, let me take a picture of you to scan your face to see if you're a U.S. citizen. I declined because how will a picture prove I'm a U.S. citizen? I told them I have my passport. It's in my phone. Can I open it and show you? He declined. I told him, can I give you my name and my date of birth? He declined. So he took me on the other side of Cedar, and they kept me there for 45 minutes, just asking, we have to scan your face. We have to scan your face.
So I don't know what to make of all this whole thing. My first reaction was, because he explains, like, they just keep asking to scan his face, and I wonder if like Palantir has something to do with this. That was my first reaction. I was like, oh, are we building a database? And when you offer to show ID and they decline, it's crazy, right? Because you'll hear people in the Republican circles, MAGA people, they'll be like, oh, well, you should just cooperate. You should just cooperate. It's just like, what else can you do, right? Essentially, you walk outside, some guy tackles you, right? You can see it, puts you in a chokehold, throws you in a car, and then says, I got to scan your face. I go, how, isn't this nuts? And those same, right-wing people who will say this kind of stuff, they're always like, oh, yeah, hold my ground. I'm going to carry holsters around. I mean, this is going to get really ugly, guys. It already is ugly. But yeah, the officers kept asking to scan we got to scan your face. We got to scan your face. And then he goes on to say stuff like they tried to fingerprint me, but their fingerprint thing wasn't working. I don't know. The other thing I'm thinking about too is if you want to take the really dark just read on this, is they're trying to build some sort of database of people that they're targeting, be it by skin color, basically. Let's be perfectly frank. Today was a hard day going through all the stuff happening in Minnesota. We also have what's happening around Venezuela, as we talked about in the last video. I know you want to hear more, happier things, but I got to tell you the truth on this stuff, guys. This is terrible. And people need to realize what's going on. That's why I'm going over it. Senator Klobuchar says President Trump's repeated wholesale attacks on Congressman Omar, Minnesota's Somali American community must stop. This hate and division has no place in our politics. We also have Representative Omar saying, this morning our office heard from community members about this outrageous show of force and arrest of a U.S. citizen for no apparent reason. We immediately engaged ICE to determine her whereabouts, so this would be another person, I guess, and asked when she would be released. We're relieved that she was released shortly before noon. ICE should never arrest U.S. citizens for practicing their constitutional right to observe law enforcement activity. That might have been the first one actually we're talking about. It is astonishing that this needs to be said. If you are a U.S. citizen planning to peacefully observe ICE, make sure your family or your friends have a copy of your passport or proof of citizenship. Fill out the ICE privacy waiver and have it on hand. If you are our constituent and are detained, your family or friends can contact my office and we will follow up with ICE. And that's where we are right now, I guess. They recommend people basically carry your papers around with you. And even if you do, if they don't want to see your papers, essentially, they'll just drag you into detention or whatever. I just laying out to you guys what's happening, and I know manga people watch this channel, and I just say truthfully, how would you feel if some masked person comes up to you, tackles you, you say, hey, I'm a U.S. citizen, right? And you offer to show your ID and they decline. How would you feel? And then they just drag you in and detain you. And this is what is also concerning. What about the stuff that we hear about but is not on camera, right? Like the stuff on camera gets exposed, and so then it raises awareness, but that's just one case. But there's probably a lot of cases that we haven't heard about yet. And I think, unfortunately, it's getting worse. And this is why, just in a positive light, though, this is why communities are coming together to resist this. So I just wanted to share this with you, and I'll catch you on the next video.